for the perfecting of the saints. Giving all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. And this is a video. There's a video based on a couple of videos that were put up by various men in Great Millstone. You jumped on it. Of the brother that you see on the screen. He's part of Adam Abbott. Actually, the group, the Israelite group, is WFI, if I'm not mistaken. And he called for all the camps to come together and work out their differences. Well, all that's going to do is bring mass confusion and a couple of fights. See, we've been through that. We got kicked out of a school for teaching that Cornelius is an Israelite, which pretty much every Israelite group teaches that, except for a few that the Spirit's not dealing with. If you're teaching that Cornelius, is an Edomite based upon what was taught at One West, then the Spirit's really not working with you fully. You're supposed to grow in this thing. But anyway, this brother right here, I talked to that brother. He came to the camp along with a handful of other brothers. And I think the main brother is the younger brother. And I believe that's Adam Abbott himself. He used to have that page. Yeah, we don't hate y'all. So you can know. We're a little mad at y'all because what you did was you came in the wrong way. You really didn't come in through the straight gate because you came to our camp. We're talking like, I don't know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago or so, when we was on 34th Street. And y'all came, saluted, and we even allowed y'all to bring out precepts, and you did. But what we found out is that you were going to Zabak's camp and maybe to some other camps. Now, the difference between GMS and the House of Israel, which is the head, or one of the heads, I believe he's the head, Zabak, or Priest Zabak, which, by the way, is Priest Zabak. You better straighten out your man, Al-Azhar, because he's the chief high priest, so everybody got to get back. So you got to get back, you got to get online, and you got to come under the authority of Al-Azhar, pursuant to what he says. I'm kicked, I'm put on the shelf. You got to be put on the shelf too, because I believe you're over 50. Priest Dunyala, you got to get back. You got to get on it, jump on the shelf. The head man is my man, Al-Azhar, or chief high priest, Al-Azhar. Anyway, getting with Zabak, you was dealing with Zabak. I don't know if you were dealing with any other camps, and I found out about that after the fact. But anyway, Zabak teaches that the mark of the beast is something other than what we teach, which the mark of the beast is the microchip technology. Now you have the jab, when people have been asking, is that the mark? Well, I'll tell you, I'll say this. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to say, nah, that ain't it. I'll take that, but I won't take the actual chip. I don't take either of them. It's part of the beast system. And now you had this going on for a year and a half, talking about this the Crown Vic Royale, which if you actually come out and say it, anything that's contrary to the authorities, they'll cut you off because they established that this is fact. See, the thing about government is they say something. If it's a lie, but if they say it's a fact, it's a fact. If you're looking at something blue and they say it's red, you better say it's red. You better say it's red. Anyway, I wouldn't take either of them. And the ones of you that lined up to get the jab, you're going to line up to get the chip. If they're two different things, which I believe they are. But you individuals, you believe that the mark is whatever Christianity, an embargo, whatever you believe it is. You believe it's something spiritual. It's not something physical. And so does Zabak or Priest Zabak. So if we get together, that we got to make sure that conversation doesn't come up, because it's going to bring mass confusion, because we're not going to fall under what you guys say. We know what it is, man. That's why we speak with authority. We don't say, oh, it might be, we might not, sure. No, we said that it's something that they're going to physically put in you. Real talk. It's a physical thing. When you look those words up and you go into the Greek, the word is charagma, which is an actual physical thing, engraving, so to speak. You look up the root of that word is karax, and karax is a palisade. In other words, a needle with a slant on it. That's a delivery system for the charagma, which is a physical thing. Now the grapho is actually, it's not information. Some brother put that up as information on it. The grapho just means this tool that you use, the karax, is for chiseling. I'll say, use the word chiseling, carving, chiseling. You're carving the wood, you're chiseling the stone. You know, you have like a graveyard, and you have tombstones with the person's name, dearly beloved, loving father, loving wife, loving brother, whatever, loving son, born on this date, died on that day. That's that. What they did was they did a thing in the Greek called I just said it, grapho. When you look that word up, grapho means to chisel something in. Chisel words, which they do to this very day. I gave you the perfect example, a gravestone. Now they have machines that do it. So let's go back. Anyway, it's not a spiritual thing. Also, in Revelation the 13th chapter, which it speaks about the mark, which is something that they're gonna physically, you're gonna have to sit down. And you're gonna have an expert actually, and it's happening. It's you know, we don't have to explain it. We can show it to you. It's big. Where is that? In Switzerland or Sweden? Sweden. There's thousands of people that got it, and there's videos on that. And then they show when they get that the mark in them, as we call it, they can start their car, they can open up their car, they don't need keys, they got the money in there, they can open up doors on their houses. You can do a lot of things with that. Oh, you can buy. It says in Revelation 13, I don't know why I'm coming back to this, we should already know about this. Everybody should be on one accord when it comes to the mark. You're lacking. Anybody that's teaching something other than the mark of the beast is something other than what GMS teaches, you are lacking. You are lacking. And when it actually comes out, just like they're pushing the jab now, they're coming with a new variant, because not a lot of people took it, because they thought people just going to line up and take it. Yeah, I better take it, you know. Well, the people that don't take it don't trust the government. That's just a fact. And it's not just us. You can't say, well, the Israelites. No, there's all kind of people that don't trust what the government or the media is saying. They don't even watch media no more. They watch YouTube. You get your real news from YouTube and Google and Facebook or wherever you go to. Anyway, also it speaks about the image. Well, the image is not a picture of Caesar Borgia. Bishop Nathaniel says a picture of Caesar Borgia. Well, I'm sorry to inform you, my man, that's not a picture of Caesar Borgia. Ain't no Edomites going around making people line up and bow down to a picture of Caesar Borgia. It's not the picture of Caesar Borgia. The image represents the Roman system. This is the Roman system all over again. I mean, I've been through this thousands of times. I spoke on this thousands of times. Why can't you get it? So if we get together and straighten out our differences, first of all, people that don't believe that the mark is what we say it is, they're gonna stick with what they believe in, and we're gonna be arguing back and forth. That's gonna be mass confusion, man, because we're not budget, man. Because we study to show ourselves approved. A workman needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Now, going back to Bishop Nathaniel, that's his title. The Cornelius thing. He said this is the reason why we got kicked out, because of the Cornelius thing. We said Cornelius was a Jake. They said he was an Edomite. Well, if Nate was to study to show himself approved, it says a workman needed not to be ashamed. He's ashamed. But when he did, years later, when he found out, he didn't say in the video, principal video, oh, by the way, we had a council back at House of David, and I said that Cornelius was an Edomite, and because of my thought, what I thought that he was an Edomite and others, we kicked out Tahar and Gabar and Rakar and the rest of them, because they were saying that Cornelius is Israel. He didn't say that. He didn't say nothing like that. He didn't qualify it. He just said, you know what? Cornelius is an Israelite. But the reason why he did that, because of his pride. He's full of pride. He was wrong, mark my words. He was wrong on the Cornelius thing, and he's going to be wrong on the mark of the beast thing and the image thing. The image is not a picture of Caesar Borgia. The image represents, look up the word image. The image is talking about the system. The Roman system. This is based upon the Roman system. That's why when you go down to D.C., it looks like something out of Rome. When you go to the capital, that area, the seat of government, it looks like Rome. That's Roman architecture, man. And then when you go to Petra, you look up Petra, go to images of Petra on Google, it looks like something out of the architecture of Petra. You got eagles in certain areas. You got the pillars, the Roman type pillars. You got the triangular shapes. It looks just like Rome, because the Edomites, when they took over Rome, they did take over Rome because it was the Japhets that started the Roman system, and they took it over, pushed the Japhetic people out, and they built their houses and their buildings the same way that Esau built his building. Now you look it up and they'll say, excuse me, the Nabateans did that, which are supposed to be Arab tribes. No, it wasn't the Nabateans. It was the Edomites. The Edomites was around during that time, at the time of the Nabateans. But they put it on him because they're trying to hide the fact that they're the Edomites. Why? Because the scriptures speak about the Edomites going into captivity. Anyway, let's get back into this. Now I want to read. Now the title was for the perfecting of the saints, right? So let me just read that. This is Ephesians 4 verse 12. It said you know what? Let's start from 11. Ephesians 4 verse 11. You know what? Let me go up here. Let me start at 1. It said, I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that ye walk worthy of his of the vocation wherein ye are called, with all lowliness and meekness and long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit. Now, unity means one. Unity means one. So there's no such thing as a unity camp if you got 3 or 4 different camps with different doctrines. That's not unity.
Strong's G 1775. Henates. Henates.
Unity. Agreement. Unanimity. Meaning not enemies. Let's see what the root says. One.
Strong's G 1520. Heis. Heis.
Heis in the Greek means one. One. So if 1,000 of us get together and somebody goes out, interviews different brothers, whatever question that they ask, we should all, if they pick out 10 people in a group of Israelites from different camps, and they ask, well, what is the mark of the beast? You're supposed to all say the same thing. What nationality was Cornelius? You should all say the same thing. If you say something different from the next guy, that's not unity. You should change the name from unity camps to various different camps with different breakdowns coming together. That's what you should call it. You know, one guy might come out teaching and somebody might ask in the audience about the mark. What about the mark? I heard GMS teaches that the mark. Nope, it's not. But then you got a guy in the back. Wait a minute, it is. That's constant confusion, bro. That's confusion. So let's come back to Ephesians. Okay, 3rd verse, Ephesians 4 verse 3, endeavoring to keep the unity. When you got 10 guys teaching that Cornelius is an Edomite and the mark of the beast is an embargo of Christianity, then you got another 10 guys teaching something different, there's no unity to that. There's no unity to that. Endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit of the Spirit, not the spirits, the Spirit, in the bond of peace. Let me look up the word bond.
Strong's G 4886. Sundismas. Sundismas.
Sundismas, which means that which binds together a band bound of ligaments. What comes to mind? Ezekiel 37. Bone upon his bone, sinews, a skin, but there was no breath in him. What is the breath? The knowledge, the one knowledge. I'll say it that way. That we all. So when the scripture said in Ezekiel 37, there was no breath in them, that means they didn't have the whole truth. Of ligaments by which the members of the human body, in this case Israel, are united together. Now, let's deal with the actual body. If you get a heart transplant or a lung transplant or a kidney you get anything transplant from another body, your body is going to reject it, man. And that's what the body's supposed to do. Reject it. That's why Esau has to give you medication to keep it where your body doesn't jack itself up. It's called autoimmune disease, where your what do you call it? Immune system attacks itself because it sees that something is foreign inside of your system, man. So if you put a heart or a lung of another person, a dead body of another person, or a live person, and you gotta be the right type, gotta be the right blood type, and then even then your body's gonna reject it because your body's set up that way. Your immune system is set up that way. So what you guys are doing is you coming together with different body parts because your breakdowns are different, but the thing is, there's no confusion among y'all. There's no arguing. It's go along to get along. So that will never happen. If you have that meeting where you get together with a bunch of different groups and try to straighten out your differences, we're not going to be there. We are not going to be there. Point blank, period. Because it's going to bring mass confusion. I'm not going to, if I hear you make a statement and I know you're going off on the scriptures, I'm going to be, look, brother, you going off. Then there's going to be a bunch of arguing, confusion, and fights. Like you got ISUPK teaching that anybody that's from Ghana or Nigeria, no, you're a Hamite. You can't come get no chicken. As Captain Tazariak says, but I believe he's kind of coming around. And that's from lack of studying, man. That's from lack of studying. Bishop Nate Nathaniel did a video. He did an interview with Phil, whatever this guy, Phil Scott or whatever his name is, and he was showing an ancient map of West Africa, and he was showing that there was Levi. You see, Levi was over here, Ephraim was over here. Yeah, Ephraim was there because some of the Ephraimites and the northern kingdom tribes went back with Judah because they knew that Judah was the head tribe. But a lot of them stayed with who's that? Jeroboam. But some of them left. Some of them tribes left Jeroboam. So that's why you have Ephraimites that went to West Africa. It says, goes on to say, I'm reading this definition. It says that which binds together, a band bound, a legit of ligaments by which the members of the human body are united together. If you have something foreign in there, somebody's supposed to see it and straighten that person. Wait a minute, you going off. And that happened at One West. If you went off a little bit, man, you got put in that hot seat, man. That which is bound together, a bundle. So if you ever have this, well, you have that meeting with the the summits led by Barak, and Barak don't know the scriptures. Barak and then Alizar, chief priest Alizar, he'll come there and he'll sit there and won't say nothing. They'll be going through scriptures. He'll see that they're going off and won't say nothing, man. That brings confusion. That brings confusion. The scripture said that we all speak the same thing. I'm in the third verse, right? It says, there is one body and one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. So somebody or a bunch of somebodies are going off on the scriptures. The number one group out there among Israel is GMS. Why do you think Sarnetta? No, GMS. I be watching GMS with them guys. They got it. You know, I can see it. And you know what? So I better see that the mark of the beast is the microchip. Ain't that something? It says, 5th verse, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one power and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. But unto every one of us is giving grace according to the measure of the gift of the Yahushua. Now, you know what that means? That means you got some guys that are always on fire. They're always putting up videos. And then you got some guys that they're not always. You got some guys on fire, and then you got guys that are lukewarm. You guys that are lukewarm, you better pray for that fiery spirit, because you may fall off. The Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is not dealing with lukewarm brothers. I do a video, and I still feel like I ain't did enough. 8th verse. Wherefore he saith, when he ascendeth up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. And what gift did he give to men? That's in 1 Corinthians 12 chapter. So the fact that a guy's on fire all the time, that's a gift that the Lord gave you. Let me jump down to the 11th verse. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and leaders. Didn't say nothing about priests or high priests. The priest order will be set up in the kingdom. So we do the prophetic thing, and then we do the Levitical thing, and so we have many hats. Except for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Yahushua. So let's look up the word perfecting. Give me a second. That alarm was getting ready to go off. Perfecting.
Strong's G 2677. Katartismas. Katartismas.
Katartismas. Which means complete, furnishing, equipping. Yeah, when you go out there, we teach you the scriptures. This means that, and that precept means this, and that lines up with that. And then you study it, what we taught you. The Most High established the teachers, pursuant to Romans 10. And then you go out, because you're equipped with the what? With the breakdowns. If you don't understand the breakdown, you come to myself or somebody else, and you say, well, what does this mean? And they'll say it means this, that, and the third. And so now you're equipped with the understanding. It says complete, furnishing, equipping. This is the root.
Strong's G 2675. Katartizo. Katartizo.
Katartizo, which means to render, i.e., to fit. You know, when you're building something and you make it airtight, you have to have the parts got to fit perfectly with the part next to it. You know, if you put up a brick house and you haven't sealed it and made it perfectly fit, when it rains, the water's going to come to your house. To render, i.e., to fit, sound complete. The scriptures, the Paul speak about not having a sound doctrine. To men, meaning to fix, what has been broken or rent. So certain guys, they'll come in and they'll say this means that and that means this, and then we'll tell them, no, brother, that means this and this means that. So they'll say, you know what, let me join you guys. I want to be part of GMS or whatever camp out there. To repair. So that meeting is not going to repair a goddamn thing, because you're gonna have pride is going to be the main spirit in there, man. And then you're going to have to admit that you were wrong. Jake don't like to admit that they're wrong. To complete, meaning perfection. To fit out, equip, put in order, arrange, adjust, to fit or frame for oneself, prepare, ethically, to strengthen, perfect, complete, make one what he ought to be. So if you are teaching that Cornelius is an Edomite, you are not one that ought to be. You're off. You're completely off. If you teach that the mark of the beast is something other than something that they're going to physically put in you, you say it's Christianity, embargo, this Islam, or whatever the hell you say it is, you're off. You're not complete. You are not complete. So let's come back. Uh, 13th verse. Till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of the Most High, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Yahushua, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine. So you got some guys, well, I'm going to get with them guys because I like what they say. Well, I like the fact that the garments are in order. They all wear the same garments. Oh, they march down the street. I got to get with them. It ain't about getting with somebody because of their garments and, oh, they got a school. These guys don't got a school. It's about the truth. It's about the scriptures, man. We ain't dealing with that extra stuff. It says, by the slight about with every wind of doctrine, or to be tossed about with every wind of doctrine. Oh, perfect example. These individuals that come into Israel and spend a certain amount of years being in the camp or whatever, then they break off, then they go back to Christianity and they run right to the devil, which is Vocab Malone. So you know they're messed up by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, and that's vocab. He's cunning and he's crafty, whereby they lay in wait to deceive, and that's vocab right there. They lay in wait to deceive, because he'll sneak up on you. He'll come out of nowhere, you know, with his crew of demons. What is that? 15th verse. But speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Yahushua. And I'm going to say this before I close. Anytime somebody goes off on a particular doctrine, who's the first group that jump up and do videos against what that, like recently, the Sakari had said that Paul, and basically he said Paul, the Lord ain't dealing with Paul, and Paul be going off. We don't deal with the book of Hebrews. Well, who was the first group, or who was the only group that really came against that? GMS. You other guys play your lanes, man. And that's not to be so, man, because we're defenders of the gospel. And the reason why we go against somebody that makes a statement like that is because if somebody's watching the videos and we don't say nothing, they might go with what that man said. But then when you see a video and we say, nope, that's wrong, it means this, then he's going to consider, oh, now there's two opinions. You might save that man's soul or that sister's soul. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.